Hi there, lovers of the tarot and the metaphysical. Let's see if we can question that. So happy new moon to you all, and thought I'd come down to one of my favourite places in the woods where we live here and make this new moon tarot reading video for you all. I just drew 4 cards which bringing forth a message. I'll throw them on the screen here so that you can see them. And here they are. I'll show you them a little bit closer so you can get a full view. The first 2 cards were the reverse star and the 8 of swords, this figure cloaked and bound. And the next 2 cards were the reversed king of swords and then the 6 of cups. So let's just take a look at this reading. It's an interesting reading for me more than anything else because it seems to be the theme of the week. When you get one reversal that starts off the reading, and when that card is a major arcana, let's orient most of what we're focusing on around this card, because the major arcana are speaking about this greater ability we have to be this clear, naked channel for cosmic wisdom, cosmic light. And let's see if I can't be a little bit of one of these channels for you today, since it seems to be the theme of the week. Now, channeling in general is one of those things that touches on the woo-woo of most people's lives. The way we think about it is people channeling the dead, or people channeling extraterrestrial beings, sharing some metaphysical complex truth about reality, when in reality we're all pipelines to the universe. We're all connected to the stars. We're all divinely intertwined and mixed. We all have this potential to be 10G fiber optic downloads to the truth, and it doesn't. And I think where people get confused a little bit is this channeling is in some sort of seance type dynamic where we put our ego to one side and our personality one side, and we enter into some sort of meditative or even hypnotic state, and then become, embodied by higher wisdom, another entity. But the star doesn't speak about this. The star speaks about our ability to channel the purity of light that is coming from beyond our little me, beyond the little us, and to pour that continuously and constantly into the world that we know and into the world that we don't know. And the way we do that, and the fact that this is a reversal in general, speaks about, hey, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we being and fulfilling our potential? Why aren't we really embodying our ability to tap into multidimensional wisdom? Well, in some ways we are, but in many ways we're not. And this card, or the card that sits next to this card in the reading, the 8 of Swords, explains a little bit about why. We're trapped in our own beliefs, and we're trapped in a whole bunch of beliefs that make us blind and cover us up. So in this reading, the star is the only naked figure, and all the other figures are as clothed as they can be. Maybe she's showing a little bit more neck than most other people, but everybody else is, even the kids in the 6 of Cups, they're even got gloves. She's even got gloves on, got mittens on or something like that, and he's got this big cape over his head. We're as covered up as we can be, and a lot of the times that's exactly the perfect metaphor. We're covered up with so many beliefs and ideas. We're surrounded by those ideas around us that we can't be our true selves. We can't be our honest, naked channels of intergalactic wisdom that we are, right? We can't be that because we don't believe in it. When you think about it, people would just go, oh yeah, that's just some sort of sci-fi woo-woo spiritual hippie rubbish that doesn't make any sense to me. That's all made up. That's for the charlatans that want to, throw a cape over the head and glare into a crystal ball and take your money for channeling a message from your dead ancestor. A lot of those type of doubting beliefs sit within our subconscious, even though most people who are watching this maybe will say to themselves, I don't really believe in that. And it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. We don't believe in our ability to embody the star, otherwise we'd be doing it more. We'd be doing it continuously, constantly. We'd be feeling the divine presence come through us. We'd be connecting with understanding, wisdom. We'd be sharing love and light continuously, constantly. We would be that 10G connection. We would be that channel for beauty and for love, for joy. Just like is spoken about here. But we are trapped. We're a little bit blinded by a whole set of beliefs that surround us, that are everywhere around us. Everybody believes in our little self. And the star speaks a lot about honesty. It speaks a lot about being deeply truthful and honest and naked with ourselves. And when we speak about honesty, there's honesty to the little me, like I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell the truth. And then there's honesty to the higher me, or to the deeper truth. Now we can try to be as honest as we can to the little me, to the worldly version of myself. And we can tell ourselves, well, I'm only human. But on another level, that phrase itself is dishonest. We're not only human. We are partly human. And we are partly stars. We're partly light. We're partly God. We're partly source. And maybe we're not just partly source, we're wholly source, and we are bought into the idea that we are just human, and that's one of those beliefs. And it might be honest on one level, but it's dishonest on another level. And questioning the honesty of who we think we are is part of the message of this reading, I think, because we feel easily oppressed by things in the world. We feel like there is, a controlling, oppressive, constricting, tightening type of energy, whether we perceive this to be in the governments around us, or in those that control our lives, or our parents, or whoever seems to have some level of power over who we decide we are. We feel it. It feels constricting. It doesn't feel right. And it makes us confused about who we are. And we experience and sit in that confusion a lot. And we feel a little bit trapped sometimes. We don't feel like we have the ultimate power to decide who we are. We feel it's too much connected and linked up to many other things. And we'll sometimes stand up and try to fight that oppression, in the name of love or in the name of light. But that oppression, as I've expressed, 100 times, comes from the thoughts that we believe in more than anything else. And we are trapped not in an oppressive culture, but in our own minds. We're trapped by the thoughts that we believe, and questioning our thoughts, questioning how true something is part of what releases us from this blind state, or from this blindfolded, trapped, tied up reality. If we don't realize how trapped we are in our own beliefs, we're going to end up sharing being the king of swords that's sharing false ideas to the world. And it's a strange idea, because what is the falseness of what is the dishonesty in what we are sharing in the world? And because we genuinely want to be honest, we genuinely might be sharing what we think is real and true, but a lot of the time we're just sharing ideas that keep us trapped. We're throwing the blame, for example, of the oppressive nature of society out onto society, instead of claiming that, not blame, but claiming that responsibility and saying, oh yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts that are holding me back. I've got a lot of beliefs in who I am that are trapping me in a false sense of myself. And how can I really tap into, my universal potential? And the star speaks about this. How can I tap into that beauty and that wisdom and that amazingness that I feel I'm connected to, I feel is there for me to tap into, I feel I am a part of. I know this to be true, but how come I don't know it and experience it to be true? And the King of Swords speaks a lot about this, and he's upside down, because I think if we're trapped in these false beliefs, we're going to end up not just sharing and expressing ideas that may be partly true but partly false about ourselves, depending upon from which angle we're looking at this truth. But also, this king, one of his greatest powers is the power of discernment, and the power to recognize, hey, no, this isn't what it looks like. And he's upside down because he is that gift and that masculine strength that we have to put a boundary, and a very clear boundary, to our minds, to say no to the beliefs that actually don't result in beautiful, positive action, that don't end up feeding us and giving us what we actually need. And he comes side by side in this reading with this lovely, beautiful card of the Six of Cups, because that's part of the solution in our lives is, hey, how can we give with joy and love? How can we make all of our relationships with the world and with ourselves about sharing something beautiful, about being joyful and being in love with life? How can I share ideas that come with this emotional message? And that's part of what's challenging a lot of the time. We'll share ideas or beliefs that come with anger and come with fear and come with doubt and come with accusation and blame, and we'll share all of these ideas that just strengthen those type of beliefs, strengthen the ideas that this is where it's wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And the king is tired of sharing ideas that don't result in something very simple. And that's why these two figures in the six are children in a way, because let's go back to basics. We don't need to be channels of divine, complex, metaphysical, quantum physics and the truth behind that. We just need to channel love. We just need to channel joy, and we need to share that in a verbal way, and we need to recognize all of the thoughts that we have and that we're tied up by that stop us from loving and sharing loving expression towards the world. Go back to basics. Come back to that inner child inside that just wants to love and be loved, that just wants to have fun and be joy and express joy and share it. And it sounds really simple and it sounds not grown up. But then when our grown-up selves is so trapped in and bound by all these ideas, what's really grown up? What's really true? What's really honest? And that challenge is, hey, let's get naked and see what we're clothing ourselves with, see what ideas are really holding us back, and maybe throw out that eternal, beautiful question that's speaking about, is this that I'm sharing done in the name of love, done in the name of joy, in the name of peace, in the name of happiness and kindness? Is that what I'm sharing? Because if it's not, maybe don't share it. That's my idea. Because our ability to be this channel, and it's a great time to talk about channeling, because with my Fool's Love Journey group, we're diving into the Hierophant, who's the beginning of that spiritual channel that we can become. And see, so this is why it seems to be the theme of the week for me. But the star represents, this continuous, constant, higher level I am, this fiber optic to the universe, and experiencing that fully. And so we can imagine like different levels of channeling energy coming through. We're all channels, but it starts with questioning what is blocking this channel, which are these thoughts that are keeping us trapped, and seeing if we can reconfigure our ideas around what is loving, what is compassionate, and what is full of joy, and share some of that with ourselves and with the world. And and if you have any comments about this, share them down below. Tell me, just share what's going on in your life on this lovely new moon energy. Maybe it's a time to instigate or to become a little bit more aware of how trapped we are, and instigate some loving thoughts and loving interactions with the people around us, the world around us, and see if we can keep it focused and based upon those pure, beautiful feelings that we all know are so important. Much love to you all. If you want to get in contact with me for sessions or want to maybe join our group of the Fool's Journey, you're more than welcome to get in contact, and we can see if that will work for you. Much love to you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend for this new moon. I hope there are some new beginnings that spark something wonderful and create some of these beautiful exchanges, and maybe help us step into that king and put some boundaries to those thoughts that are stopping us from being this beautiful channel we are. Much love.